Hey YouTube, it's Prime13 coming at you with another Transformers video review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the, I believe it's a Target exclusive Age of the Primes 4-pack. Yeah, it is a Target because they get all the 4-packs for some reason. And there's always like that one in the 4-pack that everybody wants, and then the rest are all just like regular repaints. But I'm perfectly happy with all of these figures. I did want all of these figures. So first of all, we do have our White Cab Ultra Magnus, which is a repaint of the deluxe G1 Toy Prime. Then we have our first official Autobot bumper, which is a new head of the 86 Bumblebee mold. Everything else is pretty much the same. Then we have the big draw of horri-bull, which is I believe one of our last not pretenders. I think there was like a original line of like Headmaster Decepticons, because I think it was this guy, Squeeze Play from the last 4-pack, and then Fangry, which is the only one I do not currently have, but Fangry is supposed to be getting like a single release, I believe next year in 2026. So there's that. And then one of the big ones that I was interested in is the Nemesis Prime from the animated mold, which also does have a new head sculpt as well, which is really cool. So we'll start with a look at the box here. We do have all 4 of our characters in their alt modes. We got our White Cab, we got our little not Volkswagen, we got our Bull, and then we have our fire starter truck, I'm sure. And then on the top we do have our little versus artwork of them all in their robot modes, and I do think that looks cool. Interesting that they actually made the axe for Ultra Magnus, the like plug in the top thing, like you can see his hand there. But anywho, sorry. Then if I can get it in the shot, we do have our Autobots on this side, Ultra Magnus and Bumper. And if we flip to this side, we do have horri-bull and Nemesis. Then on the bottom is just legal jargon, and then on the back we do get our product shots with each of their steps. So yeah. And Kreb is the headmaster for horri-bull. I'm probably going to forget that in the next 30 seconds. But that's it for the box. You standing back up. And we do get a lovely instruction booklet. And yeah, it is just all 4 in the one book. So it is very thick. But yeah, we do get that. Anyway, we'll just go ahead and start on the left and move our way right. So let's just kind of get these off to the side a little bit, and we will start with our White Ultra Magnus. And I do like this figure already. I really like the Optimus version, and getting a White Ultra Magnus is exciting. And I'm honestly really hoping that some third party out there decides to take a book out of fans projects page out of the book, geez, phrasing, and make like a external armor set trailer for him, because I will buy that in a heartbeat. One thing I do think needs mentioning, you can sort of see here, I'm not sure how well it's coming across on the camera, but this is a much more shiny white, and that's because despite 90% of this guy being in white plastic, they still painted the guns white. And that's really dumb, because first of all, let's see if I can get it to show, it's actually scraping the paint off the gun, and if you look underneath, it's white plastic. They painted the white plastic white, and now it makes it really like hard to get all the way into the gun. You can actually see the paint is scraping off because the it's too tight. because they painted the white plastic white. Why? So, and that's true for both guns. They are both painted white. So, it fits fine in this port in the back, but they're both very tight in the fists, at least as far as mine goes. I don't know if other people have been having that issue or not, but I really can't understand why they felt it was necessary to paint the white plastic white. We do get silver here for his grill and stripe. We do get some shiny gray molded plastic for the smokestacks. Do have our Autobot symbol there. He does have the blue faceplate and crest with the red eyes, and it is actually light piping. They're not painted over on this one. And he does still come with a matrix of leadership, which is blue and silver. And that's compared. I'll just go ahead and bring in his comparison of the original Optimus one, and as you can see, he had the clear blue matrix. But hey, I can rotate this down. And as you can see, it is just a straight repaint. There isn't any remolding, as I can see. I have noticed that for my Ultra Magnus, this joint for his arm is a little more loose, and I do believe I heard a lot of people had that on their original Optimus versions. But I have two of this guy, and neither of them seem to have that issue. They are very nice and snug, so I'm not really sure what the deal is with that. Probably just quality control, as it tends to be. But for another comparison, here he is with the Devastation Deluxe Optimus, which while he is taller, I definitely still prefer this mold like a lot more. It just feels so much more fun to me, and it looks a lot better in my personal opinion. So there is that, and we'll go ahead and put him back over, and we'll take a look here at Autobot Bumper. He does have his gun, which is done in a sort of gunmetal gray. Stiff elbow, there we go. There is no remolding of the actual car parts. That is all the same. The only real difference is the slight differences in color. And mostly just his head. He does have a neat head. He's sort of got like a bit of a tri-hawk going on here, and he does have that. I should probably get this in the frame. He does have that blue visor with a painted silver face. Does look nice. And then aside from that, it's his black. He has black plastic instead of gray, where Bumblebee did. I'll go ahead and bring Bumblebee in, just so you can see them side by side. And you can see he is a much brighter shade of yellow. And he doesn't have silver paint on the headlights, they're just blotched black, which I think that's a little bit of a bummer. But yeah, overall they are 99% the same. It is pretty much just that head sculpt is the real difference. But yeah, I do like this mold. I'm really just holding out for that Cliff Jumper. Cliff Jumper is the one I'm most interested in, because I feel like this would fit Cliff Jumper a bit better. But there we have those two together. And here we have Horri-bull in his robot mode, and we do have our little stat spread there. And I'm sure most people already know this, but the horns do come on sprues, so you're going to get those little unsightly unpainted sprue marks there. Mine, the head is incredibly loose. Like, it is just, it won't fall out, but that's pretty much like all it's got going for it. It is bobblehead loose. But yeah, he does come with the blaster from the original Skull Cruncher mold, and then he does come with his other different blaster, which I'm sure is partially because he doesn't come with that huge tail accessory. But some different molding on the back legs And there's a little bit difference in transformation since he doesn't have a giant alligator head anymore. But yeah, overall, it's a decent figure. Probably one of the ones I was the least excited for in this. Actually, was the least excited for me personally. I was really after the Nemesis and the Ultra Magnus, but it's still a decent figure. I'm not absolutely in love with it, but I know there are a lot of people who have been looking forward to getting their horri-bull, because I believe he is the third and final part of that set of those headmasters. I'm pretty sure it's just 3, and they've all been in these exclusive Target 4-packs. So, just for a comparison, here he is next to Squeeze Play from the previous 4-pack, just to give you an idea of how they stack up together in robot mode. And yeah, as I mentioned, I'm still missing Fangry, but he's supposed to be getting reissued, so I'm not terribly worried about it. So, there is that. And then we have our one Voyager of the set, the Nemesis Prime from the animated mold. And I both really love this mold and probably have the most nitpicks about it. I absolutely love the new head sculpt with the face plate. I think that looks great. I'm kind of hoping they might do another animated Optimus with this different head sculpt. Maybe if they do their own official Wingblade Prime. I gotta say, the like metallic turquoise instead of the cyan, I don't think that was the right choice. I think it pops a little bit too much. I feel like it's an awkward standout rather than a nice accent. I feel it doesn't blend as well with the overall figure. And I think part of it's just like the fact that his fists are like almost entirely in that color. Just I feel like it just adds a bit too much of it. But I mean, I think it looks, the stripes for the vehicle mode don't bother me so much, but yeah, the fists probably bother me the most. Again, I would have preferred if it was that cyan color we normally get. It doesn't bother me too much on the face, which I thought it would. But yeah, something about having those whole fists in that color is a little bit weird. We do still get his extending Energon axe, and it does still have its blast port on the back, so you can do a rocket axe swing. For some reason, his axe is incredibly snug, at least on my copy. Again, I'm not sure if that's widespread or not, but I can't, that is as far as I can get it into his hand. Otherwise, the lower pole piece just starts flexing from the strain, and just trying to get it in and out is a pain. So I cannot do the double-handed axe stuff that I do with the other ones, because it just doesn't go any further into his hand. It is just so tight of a joint. Do get a nice little Decepticon symbol there. And I do like the red headlights, as it were, and we do get some painted red for the windows. So I do think that looks pretty nice. Yeah, overall, I think if they had just left his entire hand black, I don't think that sort of turquoise would bother me nearly as much. I just feel like there's too much of it now. But again, that is really a nitpick on my end. But that's because I really did enjoy that cyan color that they always use. I think that one just really blend in perfectly. For a comparison for him, there he is next to animated Optimus, so you can see. And yeah, it's pretty much just the colors and a different face sculpt. The overall head is still pretty much the same. And one thing to note is DNA Designs has already confirmed, I think in a conversation with someone on Instagram or something. I know it was posted on TFW 2005 somewhere, but they have confirmed they are already working on a animated trailer kit for our Nemesis Prime release, because they did it for Motormaster 2, and in fact they're doing a second one for Motormaster, and they have confirmed they are already well on their way to doing the one for Nemesis. I think they said at the time that it's like 2 weeks away from preview, so we should be seeing that sooner rather than later, at least as far as pre-orders go. So, and let's see, don't remember there was anyone else I wanted to compare him to. I don't think so. I think we're all good on that front. So we're just going to blaze through our articulation here, because most of this is already stuff we've seen. For Magnus, we do have a ball jointed head. It is a pretty snug one, but you do get plenty of movement there. For arms, we get a full 360. We do get that far out. We do get a full elbow swivel. Also, don't mind the band-aids on my hand. I was trying to transform my Studio One Cell, or Studio Cell Unicron, whatever. And he stabbed me a couple times, 3 times actually, and 2 of them actually drew blood. We don't get any movement in the hand. I probably should mention that the axe does come off. It obviously just plugs into the top, same as before. And it is a very nice transparent blue. I really do like the shade of blue that they use for this. It is very pretty. We do get up and down at these wheel hip skirts. The forward skirt goes up and down. We do get a full 360 at the waist. We do get that far out to the side. We do get a thigh swivel, a full 90 degrees at the knee. We do actually get a ankle swivel and an ankle pivot. And technically you can bring the toes down a little bit, but that's for transformation. And yeah, you can open his chest as mentioned before if you want to do any poses with that. So there is our articulation for Ultra Magnus. For Bumper, we get ball jointed head, and got plenty of movement there, so definitely good on that. Do have ball jointed shoulders. They are a little bit restricted when they go up due to the slot of the shoulder. I'll bring it down just a smidge. So that does kind of lock them in place up here, but you do get a full 360. You do get a bicep swivel. You get a locking 90 degrees at the elbow, and you do get a full wrist swivel. We do get a full 360 at the waist. We do kick all the way out to the side. We do kick all the way forward, and we do have kind of a couple joints, but 90 degrees at the knee. I think I forgot to do is back and forth on the leg. We do get some ankle tilt, although it's a very high ankle, but we do have that. Yeah, just to make sure, because I do think I forgot. Ultra Magnus can kick full splits back and forth as well. Just make sure I get that in there. Behave yourself. Okay, as for horri-bull, again, he does have the headmaster sort of ball joint head, and as I mentioned, mine is incredibly loose, like bobblehead loose. Do get some ball jointed shoulders, and again, they do have a sort of locking point as you go out. Do get a full 360. We do get bicep swivel. We get 90 degrees at the elbow. You do get some in and out at the wrist for the transformation, and these claws can move as well if you so choose. We do get 360 at the waist. That far forward. Do have much less on the back due to the collision of this molding here. Do get all the way out to the side. We do get a full knee bend for transformation, so there's that. And you do get some ankle. There we go. It's kind of hard to tell exactly where the foot is and is not, but yeah, you do get a good ankle pivot, bend, slant. I think that's pretty much it for his articulation. And then for Nemesis, we get not really. It is on a ball joint. You do get some side to side. We get plenty of forward and backwards due to the transformation hinge it's also on. You do get a full 360 at the shoulder. Can come that far out. We do have a bicep swivel. Double jointed elbow for transformation means a full elbow bend. And we do have wrist swivel. And if you pop these open a little bit, you can get some of that because the hand is on a ball joint, so you do get some extra movement there. You just have to open his arm for it. 360 at the waist, all the way out to the side pretty much, all the way forward, all the way back, over 90 degrees at the knee, thigh swivel, and we do get that ankle. And if you really want to, you can kind of use this hinge for transformation to pose his feet a little bit if you want to like bring them forward or maybe bring them back a little bit. But that's the articulation for Nemesis as well. I'm just going to stick this on his back for now. Now let's go ahead and, okay, fine, be that way. Let's start on the transformations. So for Ultra Magnus, we are first going to de-accessorize here. Come on. Oh, forgot to mention, I'm pretty sure this gun is still, yeah, it's blast compatible. Oh, no, not really. There's not enough to hold on to there. Are these guys? Okay, he's definitely not. I do think Bumper's gun is. Yeah, Bumper's gun is blast compatible, so you do get that there. Anyway, back to what we were doing. Take these guns off. And we are going to start by bringing these arm pieces down, like so, and rotate this piece with a fist, and bring it back in. Yeah, let go with a band-aid. And we do the same on the other side. And again, this one is a lot more loose, so I do try and be careful with it. The weird thing is, like, it's loose here, but like here it takes extra force to move it, so I have to be careful because I can feel the plastic flexing. And yeah, that wasn't a problem on either of the Optimus Primes I have. So, and we are going to open up his back, flip his head away, close that up, and make sure that these boxes here do line up with this big slot here. And we are going to squeeze his legs together. This can be a little bit tricky as they do like to rotate and move around, but it's not too terribly difficult. And we just going to bring his legs back as is tradition, and then we're going to bring his arms into the side, and these slots here are going to go over this tab here on both sides. And as we bring these arms forward, there is this little post right here that's going to go into a little tiny tab hole right, it's like right up in here. And just bring both of those together. Make sure you squeeze the back of the cab together, and then we're going to bring these gas tanks up, and there's a little tiny tab that's going to go into this notch on the back of his arm. And then these, we're going to squeeze his arms in again, and these tabs are going to go into his thighs, and that will just lock everything together nice and snug. Then we can take his weapons, and both guns go in these ports on the backs of his legs. And yeah, these are also kind of snug. Not as snug as the hands, but you can still sort of see it like messing with the paint there. And then the axe goes on this sort of trailer hitch here. So there we have Ultra Magnus in his vehicle mode. As for Bumper, we are going to take his gun, and then we are going to move both of his arms into the locked position at 90 degrees. We are going to bring up this backpack piece and just bring his whole head up, and then we're going to open up his chest and fold his head, which is on a separate little hinge that just goes into this one. Bring it all the way forward, and then we can close that up. Then we want to take these wheel sections here, and we're going to bring them up, and you want to bring his arms down so that they're sort of lined up with the sides of the wheels in an L shape like so. And this is catching. Bring this all the way around. Bring it all the way around, and then we can tab these arms together here with this little tab. Then we're going to take his waist, bring it back like so. Going to come back here, untab these platforms on the bottom of his feet. Going to open these side doors and fold that piece up. Fold this little piece up into the foot. Do the same on the other side. Fold this up, Again, tab his feet together, and now we're going to bring the legs up, and we're going to start compressing by rotating all these different hinges together, like so. And bring those up, and bring these back, like so. And now we just sort of tab these underneath the windshield, and then we just compress this whole bit, bring it down, and these little tabs will go into the tail lights. Squeeze that all together, and there you have him in his vehicle mode. And we just take the gun and plug it in to the back here, like so. And there's bumper all done. Now for Horri-bull, the first thing we're going to do is decapitate him, and you can see just how easily that slid out. And we're going to take his guns, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fold in those fists and rotate the lower arm. Oh, I totally forgot to mention that there's an extra swivel here, though it is definitely more for transformation. But we're going to bring those forward, bring that forward, fold that back, and okay, yeah, I was just imagining something. Actually, yeah, that there is this tab here for the robot mode that does go into the claw. It doesn't hold super well, but it is supposed to lock in place, so it's just very easy to undo. Figured I should mention that. We're going to bring his head down, and these two tabs are just going to go into the sides next to the headmaster port, like so. And we're going to come back here, and then for this, I do believe we want to, yeah, there's a separate hinge here. We want to bring that out like that. Bring the bottom of the foot out like so. Those are going to create the sides. Then we fold these all the way over, and then bring these down, get them into place, and tab them together. And this tab is one of those ones that's a lot easier if you slide one side over the other rather than trying to clip them together. And we're just going to bring out these little legs here, super weird looking legs. Make sure these knees are locked properly, as you can see. And then going to take our little headmaster, put him in a seated position like so. Open up this panel on his back, and he will just slide right in there. And just close that up. And then for the guns, we want to, let's see, we want to take the grayish gun, and we're going to plug that underneath the blue one here, like so, like this. And then these two tabs here are going to slide into these two slots on his knees, like so, and that's going to make his tail. So there's Horri-bull all done. And then for Nemesis, we would take his axe off if he hadn't already dropped it. We are going to open up his hands, if I can remember which way they go. There we go. There we go. And we're just going to fold those hands back in on that ball joint and close that back up. Fold it out. Fold it in. Close it up. Going to bring these arms up on the double jointed elbow, and there's tab and slot. Bring those together and bring those together. Going to untab his chest and bring it down. Untab his back and bring it down. Come here and untab the wheels. And then we're just going to bring his waist down. We're going to rotate the arms 180. And as we bring this up, there's this little tab right here. I don't know how well it's coming across. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. Little tab right here. As we fold the wheel in, there's a little slot right here that tab will go into. Sort of hear it click there. And we're going to rotate this around as this whole arm just comes untabbed. And we're going to just no. What the heck? There we go. There we go. And then we tab that in, bring that up, bring this whole forward section of the truck up, and it's going to tab in here, 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 and here. With a tab, 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 tab. Or these tabs, not this. Just sort of bring that all together. Make sure that all those little creases are gone. And then we're going to bring this up and over. And you can sort of see there are little like teeth here that are going to hook into this little spot where the elbow joints are. And bring that up and down. And that's all nice and secure. Then we're going to take his lower body and bring it up. And there's a tab, tab, and the outer slots here that are perfectly square. I'll go right into those. Then we are going to take his legs and break them by pulling on this side and bringing this out. Actually, I forgot I was supposed to extend the feet first. It makes it a little easier. Bring that out and then engage this hinge. Bring this all the way up. And there is a spot. There are, let's see, never 100% sure which the actual like hooking point, but basically you're gonna bring it over here and bring it underneath, and you're just gonna hook it in there. Yeah, I'm still not entirely sure which part of that is actually hooking on and not. And then we're gonna do the same with the other side. Bring this out, bring this around, straighten this whole piece out. And we're going to bring this in, and again we're going to take this side with the tab and slide it under into the slot here. Hook this in, make sure that everything clicks into place and is nice and secure. Then we're going to fold the feet up, and there's two little posts and two little holes, like so. And bring this up, and like so. And there we have him in his evil fire truck mode. And yeah, again, the turquoise doesn't feel so overbearing here because it's basically just this one stripe now. It actually feels a lot more. I feel like it just feels better in this mode. I feel like just with the robot mode, there's a little too much of it. Anyway, as far as his axe, you can just plug it into either of his feet here, and you can use this or these two. I always use the red one at the top and put it like so. But yeah, I do kind of wish there was like a way to store the axe, like, you know, in this kind of way, you know, straight up or something, or like here. But it's, you know, there's weapon storage. I'm not going to complain too much. But anyway, there he is in his vehicle mode. Hooray! So, there they all are. And yeah, they all do look pretty solid in their alt modes. But yeah, let's go ahead and do a few more comparisons. We'll start with, hang on, I've got so much stuff around here, I gotta remember where to set them down. And, oh, he's right next to me and I'm blind. Here he is next to Prime for Ultra Magnus, as you can see. Again, it's just a difference of colors on this one, but it still does look very nice. So there's that. As far as bumper goes, here he is next to our retro Bumblebee from the Walmart exclusive line, just to give you an idea of how he stacks up against a actual Volkswagen version of Bumblebee. A bit taller, but a bit shorter as well. So there's that. For horri-bull, here he is next to his original mold of Skull Cruncher. As you can see, a lot of similar parts. Actually, now that I look at them, the claws are different. Yeah, only a little bit, but they are different. It's a 3 versus 4. But a lot of the main body is still the same. It's pretty much just the claws, the back legs, the head, and obviously the tail is pretty different. But yeah, it's not the worst remold by any means. Given I do think that there are a couple things they should have done differently, you know, like not spruing the horns or whatever, but it is what it is at this point. So there's our comparison for horri-bull. And then for Nemesis, here we have him next to, I gotta reach, Motormaster. So there we have all of our size comparisons. So yeah, personally, I definitely am satisfied with this 4-pack. Again, I do have my little nitpicks, and there are a couple issues. Again, pretty much all my complaints with Nemesis is just visual nitpicks, with the exception of his axe not fitting, but honestly, once that upgrade kit comes out, I'm probably not even going to use that axe much, because he'll have other stuff. Ultra Magnus, really my only major complaint / confusion is why they felt the need to paint the guns a different shade of white, which now makes them really tight in his pretty much all of his ports. That seems not only incredibly unnecessary, but a waste of paint and money, but whatever, Hasbro. Bumper, not really too much to say here. Not really any issues with this figure or this mold in general. It's cool that we finally have our first official bumper, because from what I understand, the only other bumper was the original G1 toy that was, you know, like a mix between the Bumblebee and Cliffjumper molds. So it's cool that we have, you know, official representation of this now. Horri-bull, again, he was the one I was like the least excited for, but it is cool to have another Target Master, Headmaster, Beast. I'm not entirely sure what the whole deal with them is. But yeah, he's still decent. I'm not saying he's bad or anything. Again, biggest issue with him is just that really loose joint for his head. The Beast mode holds together pretty well, so... Oh, speaking of which, I probably should go over his Beast articulation, since he does have articulation in this mode. His head is actually on, so it's actually on a peg. It comes separately, as do the horns. The horns are on just a 5mm peg, I believe. Or no, they are the port versus the peg. He does actually have an opening mouth with teeth. Not sure how many bulls have that kind of teeth, but hey, he's a giant evil bull from outer space, alien planet, so he doesn't exactly have to conform to Earth bull rules. But I do think it's cool that they gave him a jaw, and then these are just, you know, his arms, they're the same. And then there's just kind of a couple hinges here on the back legs, not really much going on there. Does kind of turn at the waist still, but that feels like it's just because there's not a good place to tab things together. But yeah, that's his Beast articulation. Now where was I? Right, talking about the overall 4-pack. So yeah, not too many issues. There are a couple here and there, and again, a lot, at least a little bit of it is my own personal nitpicks, but nothing that would really prevent me from buying these toys. But yeah, I'm hoping we'll get like some sort of cool trailer upgrade for Ultra Magnus. DNA has already confirmed that they're going to be doing the Nemesis colors for their existing pack. I don't know if they're doing it for like the Menasor or the Optimus version, because they are slightly different. Maybe they'll do an entirely new one and more slightly different stuff. I don't know. They just said that they are working on it, and we should expect to see something within like the next couple of weeks. But overall, I really do dig this pack, yeah, I'm definitely sure that there are some people who aren't going to care about the repaints and are just going to want horri-bull. You know, maybe some people only want the Nemesis, because like that was the big draw for me. So you know, maybe some people really want Bumper. You some people couldn't care less about Bumper. You know, these 4-packs are both really cool and kind of controversial at the same time, because when you buy these 4-packs, you are saving a little bit of money, because I'm pretty sure they're always 3 Deluxes and a Voyager, and they're usually around, I think, like $90, and usually Deluxes are like 25. So this is 75 right here, and this is another 35. So you're actually saving, I think, around 10 $10 by buying the whole pack, and most of it is just repaints. So it is kind of like a matter of like if you are cool with buying repaints like I usually am, or if you're after one specific character out of the pack, it can really tilt the scales on how you feel about the pack. But personally, I like getting more for less. That is my stance on it, and I do enjoy all of these repaints in front of me, so I'm cool with that. Um, but yeah, I do think that this one is a bit more on the subjective side as to whether or not overall it's worth it, because pretty much none of these molds are brand new. In fact, the most new out of them is horri-bull, because he's the most that's remolded, but again, it's still a Titan's Return mold that we've seen before to some degree. So I don't think I can really give this a rating as to whether or not it's good or not. I personally enjoy it. I think a lot of people will enjoy some of the repaints, but again, it's really just a matter of like how much you want each individual figure, or if you don't want any of them. But I think that's really all I can say on this pack. I'm really happy to have it. So I think I'll go ahead and wrap things up here. And this is Soul Prime 13 saying transform and soul out.